Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Ray here. Welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to talk about the 3 ways that Mr. Beast taught me how to run my business. Mr. Beast, or Jimmy Donaldson, has amassed, well, a large fortune. He's a his net worth is in the billions, to say the least. He makes millions of dollars every month off of his YouTube videos, both in like 32 different languages, philanthropy, gaming, stunts, challenges, all crazy stuff that this man does. And to think that he only started like a decade ago, I think, is pretty insane. Because what he's managed to do is he will take what the audience wants to see and he'll put it into videos and he'll make this content, pushing it out to his audience, and the stunts just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you know Mr. Beast and you like watching his stuff, that name is just instantly recognizable at this point. Jimmy Donaldson a little bit less, but most people know exactly who I'm talking about. And that's something that I want to talk about in today's video, is the fact that Jimmy, after amassing hundreds of millions of YouTube subscribers, surpassing PewDiePie, who was #1 for God knows how long. He's been #1 for like ages now. And suddenly you now have this very engaging, very extravagant channel where he's formed a small community. Well, it's not so small anymore, but he's formed a community of people who like watching him do this insane stuff. From the Squid Game video to many things like that, where he like locked a guy in a grocery store, crazy stuff, to where now he is the #1 YouTuber in the world and the most recognizable name from YouTube. Also, really quick, I just want to thank you guys for all the tips on the filming and the audio and everything. I just want to say thank you so much. I'm hoping that this kind of shows that I do listen to you guys. I am trying to, move the camera a little bit back. I'm still working on coming up with a proper set. I like the books, so I might go back to that one, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And I hope this audio does sound a little bit crispier. I'm using a proper mic here, so it does sound a little bit better. So I hope that helps. But anyway, back to the video. So Mr. Beast, I've learned probably 3 points, like I have many other people, about what he's taught me about how to run my business. The first point is the importance of innovation. Mr. Beast is known for constantly getting better. One of his most popular pieces of advice is to tell people that if they want to get into YouTube and they want to get better at YouTube, to just post constantly, post a lot of videos. Obviously, I'm not doing that as well as I hope I should. I will say I'm getting married in 5 days, so that's pretty awesome. And so I've been a little bit busy, but I do want to say that I'm sticking with this YouTube thing. I want to keep posting these videos, and hopefully they're getting better every single time that I do. But back to what he taught me that if you're going to do something, constantly be innovating, constantly be making it better. As you've watched the progression of his YouTube videos, where it used to be like he'd say it, like he'd count like up to like 100,000, I think is what he counted to. He'll just count constantly. And now his videos are like $3 or $4 million each, and he's just constantly upping it. He constantly shows how thinking outside of the box, innovating, growing his ideas, doing something different that is against the status quo, is pretty much how he's built the empire that he has amassed. And you can tell in his viewers that we've learned to embrace the challenge and the bravery that it takes to push the boundaries the way that he has. Because the crazier and crazier that his videos get, the more and more popular he gets, where people are now tuning in every single week to see all the stuff that he puts out. And I think that's an interesting point, because what he's basically doing is he's expanded to where it's not just stuff that you can just grind out now. It has to be bigger and bigger ideas that take months of planning usually. And how he's so committed to innovating and bettering himself through all of that. I mean, my favorite clip probably is when he did an office tour, and he just shows how he like works out, edits, works on the computer, goes to sleep, wakes up, works out, like he's constantly on that grind, constantly getting better. I think that's something that we can all take, and maybe not to the extreme. I don't want to promote anything that might be unhealthy, but I do think that saying, if you're gonna run a business and you want to grow in that business, well, you have to look at everything that you're doing and improve at least 1%. I did make a video on the book Atomic Habits, which if you haven't seen it, check it up in the corner right there. In the book, it does say the 1% rule, which means if you get 1% better at what you're doing every single day, you're gonna be 37 times better at the thing that you do. And I think that's something that Jimmy has definitely taken to heart, is the fact that he's seeing everything that he can do and everything that he is doing, and learning how to constantly grow at that and how to get better at that. And it shows through his content. Okay, And then that brings me to number 2. While he's innovating and while he's going crazy, growing all these YouTube videos and YouTube channels, that does bring into something that we all have to be conscious about, which is risk management and budgeting. The fact that he has such a strong financial management on the money that is coming in, the money that he's making. He'll talk about pretty constantly how he's losing everything. He's not just chasing a bigger and bigger box. He's basically everything that comes in instantly goes back out into creating these videos, which is why I think he will be one of YouTube's first billionaires. He already has a net worth of that because he was offered billions for his channel. Or channels, I guess the collective of Mr. Beast. But he's definitely taken this approach where he'll make 10, 20 million in a month and instantly turn right back around and spend it. And while in most of our businesses that might not always be ideal, that might not always be responsible, I do think that, at least in my business alone, I've kind of taken that as like he's not in it for the cash out. He's not in it to just like buy whatever he wants. And as soon as he starts seeing some success, he's not tapping out. What he's saying is he's going to reinvest everything because he knows this is the cash maker. This is the product. And so the more he dumps into that, the bigger that return will be eventually. I will say Jimmy has a very unique perspective of the more that he gets out of it, he's not dumping it back in, I don't think necessarily to just get more out of it, but you can tell by the content and by who he is as a person that he's definitely putting more back in so that he can help others and give more to others. And so I think being aware of the financial management and the risk assessment that he's taking and then applying it to your own business. What do your business's finances look like? What is your business's risk? Are you in a high risk business? Are you in a low risk? How much money do you need to run? How much do you spend a month? The same way that you'd want to be aware of your personal finance, how much is coming in versus how much is going out. Do you carry any debt? Things like that, which is a whole nother video, by the way. But as long as you're being conscious of what's coming in and what's going out, you want to do the same for your business because your business obviously is going to produce a lot more if it's running on solid ground. And Mr. Beast has kind of got that solid footing where he's like, I know exactly what's coming in and I know exactly what's going out, and it's just multiplying every single month. And then that brings me to number 3. While Mr. Beast definitely is very aware of his costs and everything that goes into making each of these videos, he has probably one of the most famous work ethics I have ever seen. Maybe next to like Kobe Bryant. He's up there when it comes to work ethics because he is constantly driven. I remember seeing this video and it kind of inspired me because he was like, what are the top 10, 20, 30, 40 days that people take off a year? And he's like, I know people take off Thanksgiving. I know people take off Easter. I know people take off Christmas. And he's like, if I just work those days, I will gain 10 days a year to beat you, to be ahead of you. When I saw that, I was both like challenged because I personally want to be ahead and I want to outwork everybody. So I can kind of see how working those extra days and you're almost buying time for a sacrifice. You're sacrificing for a couple years to gain an edge that your competitor won't have. And so I do respect that. But also the work ethic of he doesn't really get burnt out. He just keeps constantly going, partly because he's doing something that he loves, but then also partly because when you're doing something and you know the value in what you're doing, you're working hard because you see the end in mind. And maybe that end isn't a literal, okay, when I'm done, I'll stop, but an end of this is what needs to get done. You kind of wake up every day with a sense of purpose and a sense of drive that no competitor can manufacture. And so I think watching him create this YouTube channel, you can see it even early on in his videos. He is driven. He is dedicated to making this work, and he's going to do it at any cost. And simultaneously with having a good work ethic is definitely the fact that he's built a strong team. You have the people on the videos, Chandler and all of them, but then you also have the people behind the scenes that he's talked about how they've worked for him for 10 plus years, and he's just kind of worked together with them to build this strong knit team where we're all constantly working together. And you might go back and forth depending on how it applies to your business, depending on what industry you're in, but I cannot think of an industry where having such a valuable team that is pushing each other in a good way, working together, and that kind of work ethic is contagious. I think having a team like that, just seeing Mr. Beast do that and then seeing how we can apply it to our own businesses, I think that really, really grows every industry that it touches. Because if you want to have a good team, if you want to build something that is memorable, that is worthwhile, you need to find people that share your work ethic, that share your views, so that you're all on the same side and you're not spending so much time fighting within or arguing within about different things. Y'all are on the same mission, and that's how companies grow. And you learn how to kind of collectively use that leverage to push forward. And I think probably lastly, the only other thing that I would mention on this point of work ethic and having a skilled team is people that are different than you. Maybe not necessarily in personality, though that can be a factor. I think more in skills and in experience and things like that. Because if I'm really strong in one area and I hire somebody who's just as strong in the same exact area, we're still missing a piece of the puzzle. We need somebody that's totally different than me, somebody that has a completely different skill set that can grow the business in ways that I might not be able to. And so I've definitely found that in my own business, where coming on with a partner now, he and I are working together to grow the vending business so that he's handling the things that maybe I don't know. I'm not a technician. I can't come up with this stuff and learn the hardware as quickly and as effectively as he can. And so I can deal with more of the management and the entrepreneur side, while he's more of the technician. And I think we complement each other very well in that way, because now we can instantly turn around, drop a machine in a location, and move on to the next. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode. Again, if you guys have enjoyed, please be sure to drop a like and leave me a comment down below who you think I should do next. I have a couple ones planned, but that's probably going to be when I get back. Again, I'm getting married this weekend, which is super, super fun. So definitely be checking out. I'm probably going to post a little bit of stuff here or over on my Instagram at Grayson Reed. Definitely check that out. I do post occasionally on there. I'm trying to post a little bit more. I don't really love social media in that way. I love YouTube. I don't really like TikTok and Instagram, but I'm trying to be more active on Instagram. So yeah, if you guys have enjoyed this video, drop a like, comment down below who I should do next, and I will see y'all in the next one. Adios.